boys and girls, it's Miss Reynolds with Board, Better Off Reading Every Day. Today we have two books for you, two dragon books. And this is The Tale of Sir Dragon, dealing with bullies for kids and dragons. And Once Upon a Dragon, Stranger Safety for Kids and Dragons. And these are both by Jean E. Penzawal and Martine Goldbalt. Let's shuffle them up. The Tale of Sir Dragon, dealing with bullies for kids and dragons. One hot August day at the end of last week, I went to meet Dragon, who lives near the creek. He carried a shield and his teddy too. So I cheered, "Come on, Dragon, I know what we'll do." We were going together to camp for the day, but first we had to get ready to play. Hand in hand, we raced home and gathered what I could: scissors, glue, cardboard, tape, tinfoil, and wood. We snipped and we cut, we glued. Then at last we both donned the armor of age long past. Raising my sword, I cried, from east to west, from north to south, on a knight's noble quest. To the park, Dad joined in, set off a trot. It's time to head out to Camp Camelot. When we got to the drawbridge, Dad hugged us goodbye. We went off to play, the dragon and I. Though through the playground we joust and chivalrous pair, till we bumped into 3 other knights standing there. One of them sneered, "Well, what have we here?" And I looked at the dragon, whose eyes filled with fear. "A dragon?" he smirked. "We told you before. You're too big, tall, and green to play knights anymore. Let's chase him away," he cried, raising his shield. "We'll vanquish the dragon, we'll make that beast yield." My poor friend the dragon, his head hanging low, turned around sadly and started to go. But the bully wasn't done. With a blistering stare, he boldly walked up and snatched Dragon's bear. "Wait a minute," I cried. "What you're doing's not right. The dragon's a trustworthy, most vigilant knight. No one should ever be treated this way. Give back his bear and let us all play." Surprised at my outburst, he laughed. "Can't be done. Dragons aren't knights and they can't join in the fun." With that, all 3 left. I stood there and frowned. A fat dragon teardrop fell to the ground. I know what to do. I know just the thing. I smiled. Let's petition for help from the king. It took but a moment to reach the king's court, and bowing quite humbly, I gave it my report. "A serious charge," he said, "I must agree. I'm glad that you both brought this issue to me. I'll send a command as quick as they're able. We'll meet with them here around the round table." My good friend the dragon, big, tall, and green, went off for a walk, hand in hand with the queen. As soon as the group of knights could be found, the bully, his friends, and I gathered around. The king asked us, "What does it mean to belong? Was treating the dragon that way right or wrong? Have you ever felt picked on?" I asked. "Have you ever felt small? Have you felt like there's no one who's like you at all? We sat there a while, no one making a sound. And then the mean knight said, looking around, "It doesn't feel good, I have to admit. I've been picked on before, I don't like it one bit. I've been told I'm too little and too young to play, but I didn't think dragons would feel left out that way." The king said to the boy, "I'll make this quite clear. We'll have absolutely no bullying here. Go on a quest to fix what you've done wrong and think about how you can all get along." Bowing low to the king, as all proper knights do, he agreed to the quest, and we all then withdrew. It wasn't much later, as we sat eating lunch, the dragon and I again saw the bunch. My friend sat up tall, his head held up high, and he looked at the bully right in his eye. "You can play," the knight said. What I did wasn't fair. Then he reached out and gave back my friend's teddy bear. On a stroll together, we wrote a decree that all knights, including the dragon and me, wouldn't take things or hurt or say anything mean. Then we knelt, and we're honored by both king and queen. We Camelot knights of the King's Round Table each chose a horse from the playground stable, and set off together, a bright merry band. In search of adventure we traveled the land. By and by we heard faintly a cry of distress. "To the rescue," we hollered with brave nobleness. We gathered all five at the base of the tree, where a kitten was clinging precariously. "It's no use, we can't reach," I said with a sigh. "She's stuck in the branches up way too high." But Sir Dragon stepped forward, and stretching quite tall, gasping the poor kitten before she could fall, he placed her quite gently back on the ground, and cheering we other knights crowd around. Hip hip hooray for the big tall green knight who rescued the damsel from perilous plight. So we rode through the country performing great deeds, 5 noble knights on our trustworthy steeds. And my good friend the dragon, who stood proud and tall, was the bravest and noblest knight of them all. The dragon's decree. I will use my words and my actions to help, not harm. If ever I or someone else is bullied, I will get help. I will not encourage a bully. I will learn to accept others for who they are and treat them with kindness. The end. The end, boys and girls, of The Tale of Sir Dragon, dealing with bullies for kids and dragons. Once upon a dragon. On a cool autumn day at the end of the last week, my good friend the dragon walked up from the creek. We wanted to go to the park by the bay, so I asked Mom and Dad if that was okay. Mom said, "Great idea," and grabbing the wagon, we walked down the street, Mom, me, and the dragon. My friend brought his bear and storybook too. With the swings and the slide, we'd have plenty to do. We swung high on the swings till our feet touched the sun, then jumped to the ground and started to run. A dragon size, here and there, heart-stopping race, up and down, around, and all over the place. Up the ladder we flew, then we hopped on the slide for a hair-raising bumping, jumbled up ride. Holding on tight, round a curve and round a bend, we were finally tossed in a pile at the end. I laughed as I picked myself up off the ground. Then I stopped where we were. I looked all around. The dragon was dressed in a red cloak and hood. Behind him I spotted a wolf in the wood. "Oh, dragon," I said, "oh, dragon, look, look. I think that we've landed inside your book." "Looks like chapter 1, I told my green friend. "Stay with me and we'll take this path to book's end." But the wolf, coming close, said, "It's faster this way," and pointed to where the deep dark forest lay. With his basket, the dragon stepped off the trail, like Red Riding Hood does in her storybook fairy tale. "Stop, dragon," I yelled. That way's lonely and dark. It's not safe way to get back to the park. Besides, please remember, the wolf is a stranger. What he says and do could put you in danger." We followed the path till we reached chapter 2, where a gingerbread house came into view, dripping with gumdrops and striped candy canes, jelly beans, jubilees, and glazed sugar panes. In the doorway, up licorice steps, calling us in, stood a hunchbacked old woman, wrinkled and thin. Ooh. "Come in, little dearies," she crooned. "Take a bite. Fill up your pockets. Eat all that you'd like. Now dragons love candy, I'm sure you all know." So I grabbed his tail tight and wouldn't let go. I dug in my heels as he walked to her stair. "Dragon," I groaned, "we should not go in there." With a long hook, he turned back to me, and we leaped through the pages into chapter 3. Seven pairs of long underwear hung on the line, and 7 small dishes were set out to dine. And dragon, dear dragon, the silliest sight, was scrubbing the floor dressed up as Snow White. I was laughing so hard I missed hearing the knock, and couldn't stop dragon who undid the hook. Before I could pick myself up off the floor, the dragon who shouldn't have opened the door. There stood a queen in an old woman's clothes, holding out a big apple as red as a rose. "Dragon," I hollered with all of my might, and stopped him before he could take his first bite. "You don't know if it's safe. It could make you quite sick. Don't fall for that evil queen's horrible trick. The mirror, mirror on the wall, could the gingerbread dragon be fairest of all? Run, dragon, run," I laughed, "fast as you can." And off through the tail the 2 of us ran. We stopped at the river 'cause cookies can't swim, then get soggy and soon as they start to get in. A fox offered help. He said, "I'll keep you dry. Sit here on my back while I swim. Don't be shy." Now I couldn't remember how this story went and whether the fox really said what he meant, so I shook my head no, and the dragon did too, but the fox kept insisting it's what we should do. He grinned, licked his lips, and said, "Kids, it's okay. You can't swim across, so there's no other way." My good friend the dragon, he started to go. He climbed on the fox, but I yelled, "No, no, no." Something about this just didn't feel right, so I pulled Dragon back with all my might. With no time to spare, we escaped chapter 4 and joined Prince Charming guests on the grand ballroom floor. When the clock chimed at 12, we knew what to do. We ran down the steps where we both lost a shoe. A carriage pulled up, then drove alongside. "Come on, get in," called a voice from inside. "The 3 little pigs have been captured, it's true. They need help right away, so they sent for you too." "You can huff, you can puff," I cried. "We won't get in, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." "Come on, dragon, run, let's get away." We turned and run quickly to the opposite way. Through chapters 6, 7, 8, and 9, while we found 3 little pigs, they were doing just fine. We passed Sleeping Beauty, the Little Red Hen, Tom Thumb, and Goldilocks in chapter 10. I'm not sure how long our adventuring took, but we finally arrived at the end of the book. "Now what?" I asked, feeling puzzled. I frowned. "We need to find help," I sighed, looking around. I had no sooner spoken when, quick as you please, a lovely bright light floated down the breeze. The blue fairy godmother, come from far. I could tell it was her by the wand and the star. Dragon looked there. I think she might know. So we asked the safe stranger, which way should we go? I know whom I'd ask in the fairy tale book. She winked and gave Dragon an all-knowing look. The end. Dragon, I cheered, "It's all up to you." He nodded his head, 'cause he knew what to do. My fairy tale friend took a deep breath and then, with one furry blast, blew a hole in the end. Tricked you. And there we were, piled on the ground by the slide. "Dragon, we made it. We're back home," I cried. My mom and I hugged, and we told her the tale of adventure we had on the storybook trail. Hand in hand we walked home, Mom, me, and my friend, to live safe ever after, and that is the end. The Dragon Stranger Safety Rhyme. Whatever you do and wherever you go, be sure to ask first and let Mom and Dad know. If ever you're given some food like a treat, have your parents make sure that it's okay to eat. No matter who asks you to go for a ride, stay away from the car and don't get inside. If you have feelings that something's not right, go quickly to where it's busy and bright. If you can't get away, make a scene. Kick and yell and scream. And when you're safely back home, make sure that you tell. Even though most of them won't bring you danger, be careful whenever you meet a stranger. The end, boys and girls, of Once Upon a Dragon, Stranger Safety for Kids. Now, boys and girls, I've read these stories before, Once Upon a Dragon. I read the one about fire danger and how to use the fire extinguisher and everything. And I also read the one about swimming safety, to make sure that you're only swimming when there is a lifeguard or your parents. You never swim anywhere alone, ever. And these books were Stranger Safety, which is how they tell you that they got into the storybooks and lived out their dream of being in stories. But every time they came up on a stranger and the stranger offered them something or tried to get them to go with them, their answer was always no. And that should always be your answer as well, boys and girls. My daughter and I had a trick, which was whenever somebody would come up to her that she didn't know, and they would say, "Your mom sent me. Your dad sent me." We would ask, excuse me, what are the magic words? That would always be the question. What are the magic words? You don't just go with somebody. They have to have the magic word that you worked out with your parents. So my daughter and I had magic words that if somebody came, they would have to know it. And then she would know that I told them. So it's a magic word we picked out together that only the two of us would know, that we would tell somebody who came to pick her up. And this one was about bullying, which is basically treating people with respect. Always. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, you always want to show kindness and respect to someone else. And if you see that someone is not being treated with kindness and respect, you need to tell an adult. And so that adult can look into it. Not everything is bullying. I just want to be clear about that. Not everything is bullying. But the things that are, adults will know what that is. So you need to tell them. If you see something, say something. If you think that the way that someone is being treated is wrong. So boys and girls, it is Miss Reynolds with B.O.R.E.D. Better Off Reading Every Day. And these are my two books. And once again, I have my little friend here, Dinosaur, that I brought in. This sweet little guy. He always makes an appearance whenever I do the dinosaur stories, because you know how much I love him. This is my guy right here. Love these crinkly wings. And I told you I got this from a student of mine who moved far, far away. She brought different ones in for all the kids, and she let me choose mine because she said she wanted to choose a dragon, because I always reminded her of a dragon, because I can have such a roar apparently. Dragons don't roar, but what she meant is that my voice carries like when a dragon shoots out the flame. My voice travels like a dragon's flame. Which I absolutely love. It's one of the sweetest things anybody's ever said to me. And I absolutely love this guy. He is always with me in my bed. And he's absolutely delicious. Look at that. Is he not the sweetest? And here is the books about the dragon. There he is. Is he not the sweetest? Mwah. That's my guy right there. Check him out. Nice, right? So that's what I wanted to show you, boys and girls. It is Miss Reynolds with B.O.R.E.D. Better Off Reading Every Day. And I tried to wear a dress that looked like it was going up in flames based on dragons, to kind of go with the dragon theme, because I had two dragon books. I hope you noticed. And if you didn't, it's no big deal. But I want you to be safe out there. School is starting, and that's why I read this stranger book. School is starting. There's going to be a lot of strangers around, a lot of people that you don't know. Whether you're going to school at a school building, or you're being homeschooled, or somebody's coming to your home to teach you, there's going to be a lot of strangers out there. Keep your eyes and your ears open, and remember, someone needs to have the magic words or phrases to tell you in order for you to go or be with them. If they say that your parents said you should come with me. Nope, not gonna do it. Scream, shout, kick all about. Make a scene. If you don't feel safe, always make a scene. You'll never get in trouble for making a scene because you did not feel safe around someone. It's actually the safest thing to do. And bullying, of course, do not treat anyone badly. Treat people the way that you want to be treated. And if you see something that you know is not right, say something to an adult. That's what we're there for. We are there to make sure and to keep you safe. Boys and girls, I love you. And you know it. That's why I'm right here sharing all of this with you. I'll see you soon, okay? Bye.